This week on TGC News, Holosun goes elite, Citadel brings 12 gauges of fun, and new stuff from Alien Gear, Lone Wolf, Brownells, and Mean Arms. TacPack offers some of the highest quality firearms, EDC, and survival gear in a monthly package shipped right to your door. One month could be heavily focused on gun parts, the next on some sweet survival gear. They're always mixing it up and sending out stuff you will actually use. We are switching up the codes again, guys. TGC Knife will get you a free pocket knife. TGC Tool will get you a free pocket-sized multi-tool. And TGC Grip will get you a free X-Tech AR grip when you use those codes over at TacPack.com. Welcome back to another episode of TGC News, the only gun news show that covers things you actually care about. My name is Jon Patton. If you watch this show every week, do me a favor and smash that like button. I want to see if we can hit like 3,000 likes in the first 24 hours. Let's get to it. Before we get into the news, it is very important to take a minute to acknowledge the folks that have given their lives to protect and defend this beautiful country we live in. This is first airing on Memorial Day in 2018, and I want to make sure that everyone out there is taking the time to think about how we got this far as a nation and what Memorial Day is actually all about. Now, the news. First up this week is a new optic from a company that has been slinging out a bunch of new stuff over the past 12 months. With the introduction of their sort of affordable but premium Elite series last year, Holosun has jumped up a level. They initially made a name for themselves by offering good quality red dot optics at really solid pricing. Between Holosun and Primary Arms, the sub $300 optic market has never been the same. Well, in an effort to keep expanding and growing, Holosun has introduced a new version of their HS510C optic from their Elite line called, surprisingly, the HS510C Elite. On the surface, it's fairly simple. An open reflex-style sight that looks like an RMR and a Neotech had a baby. Digging deeper, there are a few things that sort of set it apart with the other options. First and foremost, the solar cell, which is probably my favorite thing on all of Holosun's optics. It's basically a built-in trickle charger and light sensor for your optics. Beyond that, they have the shake awake feature, which means it comes on when you physically move your optic and shuts off after a user input segment of time. That is pretty slick. Moving on from there, the hood portion of the optic is made from titanium, which is great for strength. Obviously, if that takes a bump, that's going to hold up better. It also has a multi-reticle system to choose between a circle and a dot, or just a circle. On top of that, the reticle is now green. Now, that may not sound significant, but it is actually easier for the human eye to pick up green, and according to Holosun, the new diode used for the green reticles is significantly more power efficient than their red options. That means the rating of up to 50,000 hours of battery life might actually be legit. Now, here's the kicker. You get some neat features, and you don't have to pay a lot. The MSRP on the HS510C Elite is $352.93. Weirdest MSRP ever. Now, we've been working with Holosun for a little while, so you guys know how I feel about this stuff. But what I want to know is how many of you would grab something like this over that traditional tube-style red dot optic? Let me know in the comments below. And in
Yet, importation is fine.
news, Citadel has introduced a new AK-style shotgun called the RSS-1. Long story short, it's a Vepr 12 gauge with a 20-inch barrel and some new furniture on it, and a couple other tweaks. Starting in the back, there is a fancy stock they're calling a monostock. In the past, it was always thumbhole stocks on AK-style imported guns, because somehow a thumbhole stock is okay for the sporting purposes exception with importation laws. Moving forward, the dust cover has a rail on it, which is cool. The forend and gas tube have a nice texture to them, and under the front sight base is another Picatinny rail for mounting like a sweet laser or light. And my favorite feature, the bolt lock button, which is between the trigger guard and magwell, and then there's the kind of opposite of that, the bolt unlock, which is near the pistol grip. Not really groundbreaking, but it is very cool to have those on any AK-style gun. MSRP on this thing is a not too awful $799. We covered a different shotgun like this a few weeks ago that was an AK shotgun disguised as a bullpup, and I think these two are from the same line of thinking. Find new ways to get these damn things into the country and everybody wins. Now, I'm not sure that I would personally rock one of these as a primary over my normal semi-auto shotguns, but it could be something really fun to have in the collection. It's time for some rapid fire news. We have a bunch of stuff to hit, so here we go. First, Mean Arms, the company that came up with a really slick way to load compliant fixed mag ARs through the loading gate, has expanded that idea and is now making one for AR-10s. With the growing popularity of AR-10 308s out there, this makes a ton of sense. MSRP is a hefty $59.99. Next, Brownells is expanding the line of gun offerings from them with the addition of the BRN-22, which is essentially a stripped Ruger 1022 receiver. This is fantastic if you're looking to build a ground-up custom gun and don't want to pay to buy a whole, complete, regular 1022 to get started. The Picatinny railed version goes for $89.99 and the non-railed version for $10 less. Lone Wolf, best known for being a giant in the aftermarket Glock accessory game, has introduced a new slide that's grabbing a ton of attention, including mine. This is the Signature Series number 23 slide. There are a ton more in the series, but look at this thing. It's weird and rounded and ugly and beautiful, all at the same time. The price tag is gonna hurt though. The only way to get this is to buy one of their blank slides at $175. That's without internals, and then pay an additional $200 on top of that to get it milled this way. Certainly not the worst we've seen here as far as pricing goes on TGC News, but definitely not cheap either. And rounding us out, Alien Gear released a new in-car holster as part of their Shapeshift modular holster lineup called the Driver Defense Holster. The idea is that it straps around the bottom of your driver's seat cushion and keeps the gun right between your legs. Making a good in-car holster system is actually a very challenging thing with not only the variety of guns and people out there, but then add to that the variety of vehicles on the road. The complexity for designing a product around this goes through the roof. I haven't seen a in-car system that doesn't have some sort of shortcoming. The shortcoming with this one is that it requires a car where you can actually get a strap around the bottom seat cushion. I know in most newer cars, there are so many electronics and other nonsense that it just wouldn't be possible. And even if you could, you wouldn't want to mess up the seat itself. Maybe it's leather, maybe it's cloth, but you don't want to mess that up by strapping it tight enough to keep the holster tight and easy to use. MSRP on the Driver Defense Holster is $59. Our Guntuber of the week is someone I've known for the better part of 5 years. The channel has evolved over the years, and the main series called The Weekly Drill Down is quite possibly one of the most fun recurring gun shows on YouTube right now. Not to mention that the guy who runs it, Whitey, has been a very, very good friend to me over the years. Say hello to FourGuysGuns.
The night vision company, TNVC, good friends, they sent us a bunch of Sentinels.
This drill is from the holster at the sound of the buzzer at 10 yards. You have to put 2 rounds on each silhouette. The entire white silhouette counts. Just so we're all on the same page, here's the explanation of sight picture and sight radius. Sight radius is the distance between your rear sight and your front sight, while the sight picture is the target, front sight, and rear sight all combined together.
You ever seen Ghostbusters when Rick Moranis has the helmet on? Yeah. I'm the keymaster, you the gatekeeper? The way this drill works is pretty darn simple, but it causes you to kind of have a lot of jackups. What you're gonna do is moving forward only, you're gonna put 3 rounds into this far left target. Then you're gonna transition to a lateral movement. You're gonna do 2 rounds, 2 rounds, 2 rounds. Engage your safety, you're gonna run back.
As long as John from the Gun Collective is okay with what we're doing.
John McSnooty-Bottom.
John.
Definitely make sure you go get subscribed to FGG and tell them that TGC sent you. And of course, As always, there are links down in the description to go find that stuff. Tactical Baby Gear offers some of the coolest diaper bags, baby carriers, and day packs for the mom and dad that love freedom. Whether it's the Deuce 2.0 diaper bag combo with the bottle and dump pouches, the Day Pack 3.0, or maybe just the Tactical Teddy, you are bound to find something that works for you and your tactical baby. Also available are the new bulletproof panels that are level 3A Kevlar soft panels that fit inside either the backpack or diaper bag. To get squared away and get 10% off your order, use the code TGC10 at tacticalbabygear.com. It's time for More Friendly Fire, the segment where I answer your questions from all over social media. This week, the questions are again coming from the Gun Collective Facebook page. Our first question is from Juan Torres, and he says, what is an appropriate age to start educating kids on firearms?
17.
17?
17.
So you mean 17 as long as you're in love?
Nope, just 17.
But what if you're not ready at 17?
17. You're ready.
Juan, that is a great question. I think the best answer is that it depends on the kid. Only you can judge when to teach your children about things like gun safety. I've seen kids as young as like 3 shooting, and I've seen kids that are 10 whose parents won't let them shoot yet. Maturity and mindset matter a lot here. Gordon Dugan says, what are some ways we can bring the same attention to educating and training as we do with gun companies and gear? Well, the best way is to show people that it's fun and worth their time and money. This is the challenge that firearms instructors battle every day. How to get people interested in spending money on a service that, if all goes well, they may never need. Getting people interested in things like that is not easy, but including them without being an overbearing douche and screaming, "You have to go get training!" Rah! Getting away from that crap is what is really going to help us as a community. Kyle, and I'm trying to get this right, Duracier says, how can we get companies like Magnum Research to sell their products in states like Massachusetts where they need to pay to be on the approved roster? Well, Kyle, it's a simple answer. Vote out the jerks in office that support that crap and repeal the law requiring the list. It's backwards thinking to try and make the manufacturer pay money to sell you guns. That's silly, and we would do better to fight in our state capitals than to try and force gun companies to comply with BS laws. My friendly fire question to you guys this week. What do you think about the concept of shooting to wound instead of shooting to kill? We've been having some really good discussion about this on social media, and I want to know what all of you guys think. And hey, if you want your question answered right here on TGC News, send it to me over on theguncollective.com. And that is it for this week's show, guys. You know what to do. If you didn't enjoy it, hit that button. If you did, hit like, get subscribed, and consider supporting us via all those glorious links down in the video description. And as always, thank you all for watching. We'll see you soon. The shirts worn in today's video on The Gun Collective have been provided by Patriot Patch. Closed captions have also been brought to you by Patriot Patch Company. Be sure to click the link in the video description to check out all of their great products, including their cleaning mats.